First thing I'm going to ask y'all to do is hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can be a part of the Goon Squad, so you can know when I post these podcast shows. Who that? Next is the New Orleans Saints at 28. For the last couple years, the Saints have needed a linebacker, and they have not taken one. I don't know for what. I don't know if it's just was arrogance as far as they already believed that they had all the linebackers that they needed in that linebacker room, but they, in my opinion, were not any good, except for Demario Davis. The Saints have shown in the past that they don't care what people on the outside think they need. The Saints, for some reason, I don't know why, but they do not draft LSU players. They do not do it for whatever earthly reason, I don't know. They will rather go to the Big Ten and draft from Ohio State, which they have repeatedly done in the past, before they go 75 miles up the road from New Orleans and look at an LSU player. Oh, man. Welcome to another episode of the Goon Intelligence Sports Podcast Show. Once again, we had a new year with a new draft with the same result. Saints, man, how can you mess it up? Repeat, how do you mess it up so much? Is the sky falling? No, it's not. It's not falling. But man, you need a top flight linebacker. We got one. It ain't who we wanted, but we got one. So, as I predicted, or as I stated earlier in the video, the Saints don't care what you think they need. They get who they want. The Saints, again, showing you that they don't want an LSU player. We go to the Big Ten, baby. We're going to get us another Ohio State player. We are the Ohio State All-Stars. Now, don't get me wrong. Players we have drafted in the past, with the exception of Antonio Pittman from Ohio State, have worked out. And it's going all the way back to LaCharles Bentley. But we just don't like LSU players. They don't, a friend of mine told me that maybe it's because, they want to give these LSU players a chance to succeed in the NFL. They don't want them playing so close to home, or they don't want the distractions or whatever. But there's an LSU player, a linebacker, that was in the draft this year that is not from New Orleans. He ain't even from Louisiana. And he only played at LSU 1 year. I'm talking about Jabril Cox from Kansas City, Missouri. Was at North Dakota State with Trey Lance and decided to take his talents to FBS and play for LSU for 1 year, and he's on the board. And you don't take him either. So they can miss me with they don't want the distractions for the LSU players in Louisiana. Nah, it's something. It's deeper than that. It really is. But man, anybody out there, who's Peyton Turner? Who's Peyton Turner? If you had Peyton Turner on your mock draft first round board, then you are on it, because nobody had that. If you probably would have bet up, if there was a prop bet available for you to bet Peyton Turner going in the first round to the New Orleans Saints, you should have took it. You might be a millionaire today. I'm certain of it. You might be a millionaire today, because nobody's seen this coming, man. Nobody's seen this coming with Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah on the board. uh, uh, um, Gregory Rousseau on the board. Let's Joseph Asai on the board. Let's keep going. Christian Barmore on the board. No one's seen Peyton Turner being taken. I'm not saying that Peyton Turner is going to be a bust. I'm not saying that. Don't get me wrong. Don't get it twisted. But to acknowledge that there weren't better players on the board is just a great disservice to those players that are better, that were rated, that had better tape than him, and to the executives who, yeah, it's a crapshoot. No one knows if any draft pick is going to work out, but you watch the film and look at the tape to take out the guesswork. You know, nobody's seen this coming, and for the Saints fans that want to claim someone doesn't know what they're necessarily talking about because their checks may not come from the Saints, then you are lost. For the simple fact that you call yourself a fan, I'm more of a fan than you are. I am a Saints fan. I'm more of a fan than you are because I'm going to give it to you real. I'm not going to just tell you anything. I'm that friend that you want. I'm not that friend that's going to just tell you, yeah, keep going, son. And I know it ain't going to work out for you. I just don't get it, man. I am not, and I repeat this, I am not a blind Saints fan. I'm a Saints fan. I want them to succeed. I want Peyton Turner to work out. He has to work out for the cap situation and in the predicament that the Saints are in. He has to work out. He can't fail. But I am not a blind Saints fan. I'm not just going to cheer. You got to earn my claps. I'm not just going to be, who that? Who that? I'm not going to do that. I am going to give you the real. That's what y'all look like to me, Saints fans. Oh, we got a long snapper. Who that? That's what you look like to me. Just blindly supporting a team just because maybe they from New Orleans. The NFL put a team there in New Orleans. You were born there. Now you feel as though you got to support them. No. Not so fast. Slow down. Pump your brakes. They have to earn the claps. Now, don't get me wrong. The Saints have been winning the past 5 years, 4 years, 4 or 5 years. That has nothing to do with what's coming up this season. Because one could argue that we should have did more. We have nothing to show for what are we, regular season champs? We have nothing to show for it in the playoffs. You have a first round exit, you have a divisional round exit, and you have a championship game exit. Championship game exit, the NFL screwed the Saints. I'm not going to even, the NFL screwed the Saints. But there's been other opportunities. One could argue that the Saints in that Rams game for the NFC championship should have never been close. With two first possession turnovers by the Rams, and you got the ball within 25 yards of the end zone, but you settled for field goals. One could argue that the game should never have been close. One could argue that the Tampa Bay game should have never been close. Although you were winning until that bum Jared Cook fumbled. But one could argue that the game should have already been out of hand. You getting turnovers, you getting punt returns into your territory, and you don't catch the deal. You kick field goals. One could argue that that's the Saints' fault. But man, when I tell you that this draft here is very important, and I don't think people realize how important it is that you go out and you get a player like Peyton Turner, who I understand he fits the prototype for your defense. He's the perfect archetype for your defense. You like long, rangy defensive ends between 260 and 285. I get that, Saints. You can do that. But if it's a reach, then it's a reach. Pete Warner has to work out at linebacker. You like Ohio State players. You don't mess with LSU players. I get it. But he has to work out. Ian Book is a project. A good project, but he's a project. I have no problem with that pick. Paulson Adebo, I have no problem with that pick. You needed a cornerback. You went and got one. I have no problem with that pick. The only pick that is a head scratcher is Peyton Turner. That's it. For my grade with the Saints draft, I give the Saints a B minus only because of the Peyton Turner pick. Every other pick after that was a need that the Saints had to get, had to take a player at. Despite what they may say and tell you that they don't need a player, they needed those players. It's just that Peyton Turner was not the best player available that the Saints actually needed at a position. First thing I'm going to ask y'all to do is hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can be a part of the Goon Squad, so you can know when I post these podcast shows. The Saints, like I say, I give you a B minus on the draft. Some things are hits. Paulson Adebo, I like the draft pick. Ian Book, I like the draft pick. Pete Warner, I can get used to the draft pick. Peyton Turner, he has to succeed. That's all I can say about that. He has to succeed, or this draft here is going to go down in infamy for a blunder. But that's it for today's show. Please tune in next time. I got a couple ideas for other shows as well as other sport topics as well. But this is Goon checking out. I appreciate your time today. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you shared it with me. Thank you.